there, I am back. It's Hot Topic Tuesdays with Erica, or Miss Erica, or Teacher Erica. Thanks for checking in. I wanted to say that you did see my prior introduction, but I'm going to do my introduction. It's in 4 parts, all in one day, but I'm going to be posting one each week because each section has like a little bit of a length time. And yeah, since I'm not really going out, or I'm not always gonna every single Tuesday get all done up, except I'm gonna have some segments already ready to just pop on my channel and have it ready for you. So let's get into it. Let's backtrack a little. Last time we talked about finding a full-time position in downtown at a daycare, and my babysitting and my background and what brought me to come to my career choice, and like where my love excuse me, where my love has been in childcare and all that. But it hasn't always been easy. It actually was a learning process in a daycare setting, and at times in my early career time, it was really stressful, and I had, to be raw and honest, anxiety, a high anxiety about it. There were a lot of trials and tribulations about it. I have like almost 15 years in experience of it now, but in the beginning times it was a difficult, even though I really enjoyed it, it was difficult for me. So let's get into it. It was difficult in the fact that, even at one time, like I was going into the break room and a teacher had told me, oh, maybe you should try something else. And I didn't really respond, and I thought to myself, oh gosh, maybe I should, because I was having, anxiety, but the anxiety was to the point where every time a child would come in to the center, my anxiety level would grow, because my age group, I have experience with all age groups, but my more, overall experience is with infant toddlers, and that's where I feel mostly with the comfort, the ratio is much smaller as well. So a big problem was classroom management for me, like having 1 to 12 kids on your own was a bit like, challenging for me, especially with anxiety, or being a little nervous. So if I'm in the, preschool classroom and another child comes, it just raised the stakes, were high as far as like me feeling uncomfortable. Of course, we'd have maybe our co-teachers and such, but sometimes we didn't. Sometimes I didn't. Like I went to another school after leaving the one school I was at for 6 years because I wanted something more local, and I had a classroom and I had 12 kids on my own, and that was really tough. And it wasn't so much like being able to talk to the children or things of that nature, or understanding the material, understanding the directions. It was just, being able to have the management of the classroom. That's really all it came down to. Everything else was pretty good. Except, because I didn't have the management of the classroom, my nerves were kind of everywhere else as well. Kind of like talking, with my confidence, talking with parents, everything was just booshed all together, thrown in one. Boom, here, classroom management, boom, conferences, boom, and it just got to be this, whoa, it's just like, whoa, too much, But through the years, I learned, what works and what doesn't work, finding my comfort, finding what, what works, what doesn't work. And I did this by, actually I started to realize, so my biggest struggles were classroom management, confidence, I always had the heart, I always had the passion, I always had the love. It's just kind of putting it all together, you know. And I did have the education and you know, some experience, but like putting it all together in one big package can be tricky to fit it in if your package isn't big enough, you know. So it's almost like it was in the package, but there were like things hanging out of the package and it couldn't fit all in. Now I feel like I fit in the box. And I'm gonna explain why and continue talking about that in the several segments to come. But I realized music was a big part of my turnaround. In my first school, the one I was at for 6 years, I ended up picking up a book. It was a very simple book, and this is in my YouTube channel where you'll see me holding a book and singing a song. I played the piano from 5 to about 8. I was in a show choir in high school and a regular choir, and I really enjoy performing and singing, and I kind of just, I guess, have a tune. My, you know, a natural incline. My whole family was in music. My older sister is currently still in music and majored in it, and is a music teacher. So, you know, that was in my background. So when I did pick up the book and start to sing to the children, it was a little different than normal. You know, most times you read a book, the children engages or listens or gets distracted. But it seemed like every time I picked up this book and sang a song, the children would be more into the story. They would be more engaged, and then they would follow along with the lead that I gave them in the directions for the song. Because I remember, like, one of the books would be, you know, clap your hands and make a sound, wiggle your fingers all around. So engaging with them by doing, they, you know, learn to listen and learn to do. And by them doing this, it's not that they didn't trust me, but it was more like I had built my confidence by something that I was passionate in with them and the music. So they would follow along and understand. And then I would bring that more to, like, say, transitional time. Transitional time was hard for me as well, because we had to bring the kids in, and some would go this way, some would go that way. So now I'm talking about infant toddler to age here for the songs I just sang. But when we would go inside, instead we would just go, and everyone would go which way, right? So now I figured, hey, they like the music, they like the song, and they followed the directions. So what I did with that is I would say, like, let's walk inside, let's go together now. And actually I just made that up just right now. Like, there's several songs, like the cleanup song, which is, you know, very common. Clean up, everybody everywhere. Clean up, everybody do your share. But as I realized that they're listening and they're being guided by my music, I was able to just kind of, like, you know, make up songs. And you can do the same thing. You know, it doesn't even have to be on tune. It doesn't have to be the same old songs. It can be anything. And, you know, I just happen to have the tune or know, like, kind of in that aspect only because I, you know, have a strong musical background. But I guarantee you, if you just make up some type of song with infants and toddlers, they'll follow along. It's an easy thing to distract them. It's an easy thing to guide them, and an easy way for them to learn. So it took trials and tribulations, but you know, I finally felt comfortable and knew, like, hey, you know, I can do this, and it's working out. And it may have been like a little uneasy and unsure and a struggle, you know, when I started out, but I continued, I stayed with it, and I stayed focused, and I kept practicing, you know, while doing, with experiences, by, you know, observing and being open-minded to trying new things, what works, what doesn't work, what works for them, what works for you, what doesn't, vice versa. And it just all came together. So tune in for the next week for segment number 3. And that is going to be about finding your way, how it all comes together. Okay? Look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks. Bye.